Hello, Proxy Table Gaming fans. I am Hyper G. I'm with Lucky Sixes, and Art of War continues. Hello, Lucky Sixes.
Yo, how's it going?
It's good. Good. Never has there been more sixes. Lucky Sixes, Art of War 666.
I know it's
All the
it was
sixes.
made for me, really, wasn't it?
Really, it was. Yeah.
Or to at least come
Absolutely.
sixth. Anyway,
Well, too right. You need to
that's
up
the
your game
that's
a
the
bit if you
goal.
can do
Yeah,
that.
that's the goal.
Which I
um,
appreciate I can't say as I'm far below you, but yeah.
but yeah, we end up on day two. We made it. We made it there.
Good.
After a very good night of
Mm.
shenanigans, and yeah, up
It was the
against
obligatory Indian curry, wasn't it?
it was up against Drew Huntley with his Saurians. Now, what's interesting about this one?
Saurians?
I know. Well,
Who's
A,
playing Saurians
Saurians.
now?
So that's like the interesting thing. But the second interesting thing is that he is also on the same team as Elliot, where this list has come from. So
Ah,
he
so
was
if
he was
anyone knows
talking
the
to me.
tricks.
Yeah, he was talking to me about how we've been chatting to Elliot and everything. I was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. So
Yeah.
I
All
quickly
those
text Elliot,
weaknesses.
going, "What have you told him?" um,
Yeah, what have you told him? And why have you told him the truth?
Yeah, but to remind ourselves, this is the vampire list. It's basically a Barrow Knight Death Star with the two killy vampires in them. I've got two big units of skeletons, two units of dire wolves, some bat swarms to round off the chaff, and then Johnny Darkcoach, Vaki the Varkalak, and five vampire
Yeah.
knights to round off the threats.
There are a few threats there. I will give you that. Yeah.
Now, Saurian Ancients, of course, no Saurian Ancient unit would be without the Tegu Guard and an Arak.
Apparently so. Yes, I'm switching off all my bias and opinion. I
Um,
don't promise that, just for the
but
record.
also, as well as that Tegu Guard unit, which obviously makes them bodyguard, I think.
Yeah.
They have a big unit, Tegu Warriors, a smaller unit, Skink Warriors, two units of Skink Hunters, Tegu Mystics, which are very cool, some Weapon Beasts, Pterodon Riders, Titanopod,
Hey.
and two
Lovely. Yeah.
Taurosaurs, which were very good. Very nice to see.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
list. I like it. I mean, he is the
yeah,
only Saurian ancient player in the tournament, isn't he?
he is.
One of the few Saurian ancient players left in the UK, really.
Yeah, yeah, all of them
Because
abandoned
obviously
him.
I abandoned them.
Yeah,
I gave it up. I did my time in 2023.
that's
And,
right. That's right.
yeah, good
Um,
good for Drew.
we play counter thrust and secure targets star because this is an
Yeah.
interesting one, really, for the star bit. Basically, within that central circle, square, rectangle, basic shapes. Um,
Yeah. Trapezium.
with
No.
yeah, within that quadrilateral in the middle,
Nice.
we
Nice.
place four spoils of war, two each
Uh-huh.
from each other.
Uh-huh.
They have to be a certain. I can't remember how far apart. And then we pick one.
Mm.
So like
Secretly.
secretly pick one, and then it's revealed
End of game turn
end of game
5.
turn 5 which ones we picked.
Uh-huh.
Now, if we pick different ones, obviously those are the two spoils. But if we pick the same ones, there's only one spoil. So very
It's like hold the
interesting.
center without the center. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting take on the spoils of war. So
I
I
like
was
this. I
interested
like
to
this
see.
scenario.
Yeah, really interested to see.
Especially with counter thrust. I think it worked really well. Counter
Yeah.
thrust. Because yeah, it was nice. Nice bit of intrigue in this one.
And just to make it easier for all talking about all that stuff, I completely missed the first turn. Mainly because I think it's when I get
You're already.
I
This is like mid game.
what happens is I win if I win first turn. I get so excited that I won first turn. I forgot I'm even on YouTube.
Well,
I just go, oh, let's
absolutely.
just play. Yes, this is great. So
Yes. Let's roll
so this
dice.
is
Let's do it.
this is me in my
Mid turn
turn one
3.
movement. Yeah.
Oh.
But you can see the spoils. So I was green, I think, and he was blue. The tokens
Mm-hmm.
there. Those are the ones we put down. I can't remember what order. I think
All
I
right.
put.
I'm going to guess which one you chose before you tell us. Oh, maybe you should keep it a secret, but I'll guess now anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, okay. Do you want to? No, don't tell me anything because I'll pretend I know where you deployed and guess based on that. So your scoring are your Barrow Knights, your Vampire Knights, your two skeletons. You haven't got any other scoring, have you? That's just the four.
Just the four.
I think the blue one near your Barrow Knights now is the one you've secretly chosen, but don't confirm that. We will see later on. That
Yeah,
is secret.
and obviously I don't know what he is going for as well.
No.
My inkling is it's that one on the right, because I
Yeah, because he's
dropped
got his
and
big
then
Tegu warriors there, hasn't
yeah, yeah. So I dropped and put Donny Dark Coach, Vaki, and a unit of scoring over there. Now and
Yes.
when he put his salamanders, which obviously can definitely take up my Varkalak, and a big unit of Tegu, I thought, well, I think that's where he's going to go. So those three units kind of are just looking at that, especially Donny as well, because only strength 4, a lot of attacks, but only strength 4. He is res 5 and all the saves. He might be able to grind that, This is what I'm thinking at the start, especially if
Against
you
the
can get
Tegu warriors, you mean?
Yeah. It's a tough one because they do have a decent amount of AP. That is the thing with spears
And static res
and a lot of
is an
attacks.
issue.
So yeah, so I'll need to do their things, but yeah, so maybe we'll see. I get Varkalak out of there, out of that's actually
Get the hell out of there.
to a point where if because salamanders can't march and shoot or something, there was something.
Because it's a breath weapon.
Well,
They've
maybe
changed rules so many
Yeah.
times.
There was something about it,
I mean,
but
normally
that's
you
actually
can't march and shoot.
that's
and
out
shoot a breath
of
weapon.
out of shooting range for the salamanders, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least it made it very,
enough.
very difficult, and Donny Dark Coach could charge them if they got to a position with a shoot. So he's going for some easy skink points, and is at a point where the Titanopod can't charge because it's being chaffed, and the Taurosaur can't charge because the skink's in front of him. So it was I actually really carefully measured that the skinks couldn't move out of the way and the Taurosaur come in as well, things like that. So I'm thinking he's gone for that one, and I know which one I've gone for, which of course I won't say. As you can see, the lines show where things were and where they've moved to. One of the dogs is early chaff. My vampires on the left aren't going to get charged by anything that I care about, so I kind of just push them up. I should say, and it'll come up in a sec, he does have alchemy magic, so I'm a little bit... So that with my Vampire Knights especially, I can heal them back, but there's something I need to be wary of. And I just move up my Barrow Knight Death Star. I'm going for the Anorak. That's you can chaff. I'll take all that chaff, and then I'll kill the Anorak. I'm happy with that. There's a game plan for them. Over here, this is showing the spell that minuses his offensive defensive skill and increases my offensive defensive skill, which for some reason has completely gone from my head.
It's not
but
Mark
it's that
Doom.
one.
That's a different spell entirely. I will find it.
And we go on to his turn. He charges his Titanopod in to clear the chaff. And
Rot within.
Rot within, of course. And this is how he moves. So he moves his skinks to chaff my Death Star. He moves his pterodons out of the way so the Anorak can go right towards and fire his alchemical fire frog staff, directly at them. He moves both his Taurosaurs over to face the Varkalak because they've got the bow things, and the Tegu Mystics come up to do throwing weapons as well as the Skinks moving all the way around. And it's just a pincushion now, and see if we can survive. He moved the Salamanders way back. They couldn't, as we said, couldn't get out of arc of the of Dark Coach, but so they just moved back for future turns, which I'm kind of happy for. The Salamanders are a big threat against the Varkalak, so if we can't go against that and they've moved back against my big bricks, then happy days. Because of course that brick over there on that right side is going to take a while to get through, but I'm not going to have any healing for it because I'm all the way to the other side. So that's I guess one downside of this is wherever your Death Star goes, your healing goes. So you can't really play wide. I think a lot of the time I'm playing wider than I perhaps should in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I think mainly for Donnie Dark Coach, the main thing is if you are going to go into that unit, don't put the skeletons in with them.
Yeah, that's it.
But
we'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
Over here, this is these are the two big damage spells that he's got. Obviously, I choose out of those two to stop Molten Copper. I think it's too much of a risk, even though it's only AP4. That does take my armor, I think, from 2 up to 6 up. So I take it's more hits generally. I choose to stop Copper, and he does 4 with Quick Lash. Oh god! Just don't roll a 5 or 6, and then don't roll all not ones. But
but with that same D3, he would have done 7 with Molten Copper. So
exactly. So So
obviously,
that's
lucky 6s, that would be 7 6-up armor saves, but
it would, so that's basically what I'm doing. I'm if possible, I'm stopping Copper, unless it's like a crazy roll, really, and that's in my head now. I'm like, right, Quick Lash can just go off. I'm sure I can get that back at some point. And as you see there, I'm now at the point where even though they are Turkey Guard and I know they're not great, or I've been drilled in my head that they're not great by someone, I still don't think 3 can take them on in a whole thing, because they're going to go back. There's a lot of attacks, a lot of combat res. I need to be fully strength. I would go in the front. I'm not sure I would. I've only got 10
I
attacks
think they'd
to
grind you out.
Yeah.
Sorry, is what I meant.
Because they've got magic as well. Obviously, this time they've gone for damage, but it kind of stops me going in, really.
Although,
over here,
you could heal back a few here and there. And
they're vampiric, so I can only heal once. It's not like I can heal loads from the unit. So every heal,
true,
and I only have 2, I think, maybe 3.
It depends where else your magic is needed, doesn't it? But
So in fact, we can see it both here. I get 2 wounds on my Varkalak from all that shooting, which it's pretty good. It's about, I'm not sure the odds. I think the bows miss, which helps, and then the other things just sort of plink away. The dogs obviously die, but the do a wound, baby. Come on to the Titanopod. Get in. And it leads me on to my turn. I charge the Varkalak into the Taking Mystics. I charge Donnie Dark Coach in. I keep the whole turn because it's only one turn. Maybe that's it. It's taken longer than the actual game, and I'm like, I think I can do it. There's no counter charges on. I've got a charge. Let's just go. I think I can grind him, and with the impact hits for sure, I should be able to keep him up there. So, and I think they're going for that objective. So let's do it.
I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, this is another one. Can you spot his mistake?
His mistake. There's going to be an overrun or something going on.
There is. I'll put you out in music. The skinks chaffing my Death Star. Actually, I'm very, very close to my Bat Swarms. And what that leads to is when I'm charging, I actually can't wheel too hard.
So he has to change the angle, and that is going to be a nice overrun.
Yeah. It's a bit skewed here, but we obviously tested it out quite a bit, and it meant that when we went in, so that's all the charges.
He closed the door to
that is the furthest I could go, and it's
nice
the
demonstration.
End up. Yeah, I thought it was good as well. But this was
clearly
the line.
overrunning into the flank there, isn't it?
Yeah. So this was me moving as much as I could.
Did you get a little bit of excitement when that turned out to happen?
Yeah.
And how early did you work out that overrun was on? Like
when I was moving it.
I was going to say,
it wasn't planned.
And as soon as you moved those skinks, you weren't thinking, "Oh, hello."
Well, he moved them in, and then I went, "Oh, charge," and I went, "Oh, charge," because and then and you do that thing as well. You're like, just to double check this, we do this, and he was like, "You come and do anything. Look at this," and he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, light bulb. But yeah, so
I suppose there's not even any point in fleeing that because you're in the flank anyway. So
yeah, Yeah. And I
you'd have
think
just charged
it's a
directly.
9 to get into his flank as
Swift
well.
ride 9.
So it's just something just not neither of us actually looked at. And after the last
I
game
mean,
where
yeah.
the Empire sort of moved my monster thing through things, I'm like, maybe that's a bit of help.
Bit calmer.
A bit calmer.
Not for Drew, but yeah. Yeah. Drew's on the receiving end of that one. But maybe he got that in round 5.
That's it.
All well at the end as well.
This is the remaining moves of vampires. Basically, my in hindsight, spotting that, I perhaps could have charged with the vampire knights.
In the front with the vampire knights, yeah.
However,
just to grind a few extra points on. It's all bodyguard still, but it's
then if I don't get the 9, I'm like, the same thing happens, and then he actually has a free reform, an easy reform. So
it's a safe move. It's a safe move.
So I move up the
your
way.
Vampire
basically.
Knights can take out pterodons if they stay there. They won't.
And skinks,
or the skinks. So they're not, And if that grind is still going on, chances are your Vampire Knights can turn around and help out with the final few kills if needs be.
Yeah. Donny and Varky both get in. My dogs move up to there. And once again, spoke through with Drew so that neither of the Taurosaurs can get in. And as you can see, the width can't overrun as well from that. So I'm chaff over there, and we're going in. Now, obviously, vampires as well don't normally like to go in or lots of different areas at the same time.
No.
But Varky is more bonus points, to be honest. Anything I get with him are bonus points because of the salamanders, because it's such a hard counter. And Dark Coach is just something that in my head was like, no, the maths are right. The maths, I grind him. They
need to be, because if they're not, you lose the Dark Coach, you lose the skeletons, you potentially lose or draw the objective. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you, mate.
Yeah. This is showing what I said about the Vaklak. I actually go in, I do loads of wounds, I get one back. Oh no, this is heal. I heal.
Yeah.
For one.
With a spell.
Yeah. I get this was a bit disappointing. I get Breath Corruption off, and I'm like, yeah, brilliant. If I get them, I do one wound. It's kind of an elf killer. They are res 4, so it's not like a big one.
What, pterodons?
Yeah, I think so, aren't they?
I think so. No.
That might not have been how we played it. It's been a while. But
sure. Yeah.
That was my saving grace for myself. Over here. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. So I needed an 11 to get in. So I go into the Dagger Mystics.
You had every right to expect that would work.
No. I get them and I go, I didn't. Again, it's one of those things. It looked further than 12, but in the end, it was 11. And then I was like, this is amazing. Roll, saw the 6, and it was a 4 with it. And you're just like, and I rolled 10. And I'm like, that definitely would have stacked the odds. I definitely would have.
Well, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
But as it's not,
you really were.
But happy days. He's killed some Dagger Mystics. It's 200 points or something like that.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, happy enough. Over here, I go in, I do 6 wounds, I think, and don't take any in return. And I'm like, well,
great.
Keep doing that sort of thing. They're great. They're steadfast and they hold. But yeah, I'm like, right, well, Varky gets super lucky and survives on 1 wound. I can go in there. This is looking up. So looking up. Yeah,
I'd say so.
Over here, this was my role. It wasn't in the end. Wasn't even close. They made sure, and this is it's bad for Drew. This is bad.
It isn't great. Yeah. It isn't great.
Apparently, he after this one, he has got a few buffs on his things though. I think it's the what's the minus
red tokens
from fire pyro.
Tocus Enders.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently at this point, once he got in, he then texted the picture to Elliot and then was like, "That's the one thing I told you not to do." I think this was the picture.
Yeah. I mean, it was good advice from Elliot, so you know. Nice. I saw that from recently.
Over here, he takes out the chaff with 2 of the monsters, so I'm now kind of out of chaff, although I do have raised dead, so it's not the end of the world.
No.
And this is the rest of the Saurian movement. The pterodons just come over this way, and the skinks try and get out of dodge as much as they can. The Taurosaur, Salamander, and other unit skinks come over to pin the pincushion some more.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that is how it is. Over here, I think again it gets another buff off. I want to say it was -1 to wound. I had the choice between -1 to wound and the +2 armor. Is essentially what he was getting off.
Yeah.
And I think they've got the flaming banner as well, so they would also get.
They do.
Reroll to wound. So I was stopping Word of Iron for that one.
Because I mean, he's still got 6 files. I mean, I don't expect he'll still have 6 files by the time he strikes. Maybe down to 4. But that's still 8 attacks, and if he is rerolling to wound, that could still clear out your back rank.
Yeah, because he's still strength 5 or 6. 6.
5.
5.
5. Just like strength 4 basic with how bad.
Oh, they got the 8B. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Parky goes down. Salamanders. Okay. I think he left the salamanders for last as well. I was like, just do them first. They're going to kill him outright on his own. But not to be. Lovely. It was a lovely
Flaming Barky
as well. I really like that.
I've been looking at that one. It's very cool. I mean, I think he's proxied his Medusa as the other one, that's all good. But yeah, that's a really cool salamander. I like.
Both chaff go down for no wounds this time, so that's unfortunate. But over here, I do a bunch of wounds. He does none to me in return, and bodyguard means he stands and turns around. So there you go. Onto my turn, I charge, and he flees because he's like
rightly flees. Yeah,
I think like it was closer than it looked as well. It was like a 7, and he was like, well, if you get in and then turn around. And then, like, it's just not worth it. So, it makes me
this
waste
way you can't charge for another 2 turns.
Yeah, makes me waste a turn. And this is a main move. I sort of move up a little bit with my skeletons. Not really bothered over there.
Yeah, can they take on a Titanopod?
Yeah,
you've stayed out of the range of the Taurosaur though. With your skeletons on the left. Sorry, you were talking about different skeletons, weren't you?
Yeah. But all good. Yeah. This is I regrow 1 there.
Nice.
Why not? It also like I'm not sure it looks at here, but it is very close to actually seeing him there. But obviously I can't regrow any more or anything like that. So that's a shame. This didn't go well.
Oh, what happened? Without impact hits, he just. Got you.
I don't think I did a single wound, and then he did 2 or 3, and it was just lights out. He's so swingy. It's so funny. It's like it's the ultimate swingy chariot, really, because of But he's got 4 up.
Well, everything is 4 up. It's all on 4 ups, isn't it? You know.
So so that was bad. Again, in hindsight, I could have waited a couple of turns. I think was the better play. To hold him up and stuff, but then he would have other things, and I'd definitely have lost it. So I don't know.
It's just whether he's chosen that one as an objective.
Perhaps my maths were wrong, but I was really thinking he wouldn't do that much to me because he's got AP 2, possibly 3 when I charge.
Is he spears? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably does tip the balance a bit.
So I've got 3 up save and a 4 up save. He's only strength 4.
Well, I mean, if anything, he should have done more wounds to you the first time round while he was AP 3. He was only AP 2 this round.
Yeah. Not to be. And Dark Coach sort of crumbles to dust. Yeah. Over here, we join wounds into some crazy. I do Dark Coach first, Donnie, and then I do this, and I'm like, how have I only done 3 wounds? What's happened?
How? Literally, how have you only done 3 wounds?
I don't understand. So
one vampire alone should be doing 3 wounds.
Yes, that's what. It was just like a crazy bad roll, and like because of his -1 to wound or something. Yeah, like it like mattered on every single one. So a lot of my 2s.
Can you get through parry, or have you got no parry bypass?
Not sure. One of them has paired weapons, But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Because I mean,
anyway,
that's one thing that has Taker Guard in their favor is their parry.
yes,
So.
yeah. So it is what it is. But we end up. That's after crumble, whatever. And there we go. Titanic Blood comes into here, and but I'm just hoping to heal and just keep him up.
Yeah, you need to get rid of those Taker Guard fairly quickly so you can turn around and
Yes,
get on with helping out the rest of the battle.
I've had my bad turn. I'll get a good turn and come in later on. It shouldn't be too bad. This is Saurian other movement, and basically just surrounding the unit skeletons and moving towards the other unit skeletons.
Yeah,
So.
I don't fancy your chances of holding the entire rest of the battlefield with two units of skeletons, if I'm honest.
No, I did look at the right flank and I was like, oh, yeah, that went quite strong to quite bad. I mean, I've got the Tigger Mystics at least, but it's not good trade, really, as they say in chess.
Indeed.
Over here, the 3 for 2, and I'm like,
what?
Come on! You need to be killier than that.
Have your vampires like taken an early night or something?
Yeah, I think so. They're like, no, we've done our job. We got in the flank of his best unit. So, all right, okay. Over here, this is he does 20 wounds in total, I think. After crumble as well. So you're just like, that's just down considerably. I didn't even take him off. I was like, oh, this isn't looking good. Now that you've kept my Barrow Knights up there, I think this is lights out for everyone else. And this is my turn. Basically, my Vampire Knights is the only real thing that comes in. My skeletons on the right move back so that the Taurosaurs are not close enough to come in at the same time, at least.
This is like the Total War battles when you're playing vampires, where the smoke starts coming out of your units, and you're like, "What? Oh no! I'm actually on the verge of this all just crumbling and going wrong."
It's all because the Taker Guard is
skeletons.
They're just keeping me up. They just keep.
They're a good unit. I always said they're a good unit.
That's it, man. Until now, where I get to be fair, this is my turn, and I get a bit of a spell off, and I end up beating them in combat res, not outright, and they go off with like 2 men and the Anorak, and I'm like, now that I've got my vampire.
So they failed bodyguard.
Something like that, I think. It was it.
I mean, that's always possible.
Yeah. It was that, but I was like, the Anorak, even if it was just him, I was like, I just need to kill him. I think it's his turn next. Annoyingly, if it was my turn next, I would have just ran off with one of my vampire lords or whatever, and then the rest of the unit back. But I just need to kill him. I overran and did get them, but it does mean I'm out of them. And I'm like, okay, right.
Another 2 turns. Turn around.
Yeah. Over here, he does. So I think I've got a 5-up save on them at this point. Which is
Hand of Glory.
Me, Hand of Glory, which is getting me better. It means he's reducing less, and he moves like this for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's this. I don't know. And comes in with the Taurosaur, comes in but fails. With his Saurian.
Well, that's interesting that he wants to leave the objective behind, though. Maybe that's not the one he's chosen.
Yeah, well, that's what
going for the points rather than that.
I was like, if he gets in like this, he just doesn't need to, because the way it is, he just needs to stay there. This is the end of.
Yeah, he's only got like 15. Oh no, he's got.
I ain't gonna do anything.
He's got about 20 attacks. Yeah,
I am just skeletons with no buffs.
It's just whether he can turn around and then.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he has to. If he got in, he could be within 6 inches of it. So I'm not sure.
And you're not going to kill many.
You even have to. And this is the end of play. His pterodons basically come up to chaff me when I turn around. So it was
were they not in combat with the skeletons? I thought they were in the
No, they just moved around.
Right.
To potentially give that potential. But it's just combat res for him, really.
Yeah.
And this is how it plays out. They get +1 toughness, because apparently he's worried, and forget the spell. So I'm like, great, okay. You can have it. Over here, he then kills the skeletons, comes in and just does the rest. And you're like, fair play. Like, no amount.
There goes your scoring, probably.
Yeah, we can do that. And this is my turn. With his Titanopod and everything coming. Ooh, it must be clicking buttons or left, right, center. With this, I don't think I can go through his Titanopod. And with my Vampire Knights, because it's just too many wounds and everything. And he's got counter charges, so I moved back so that he's not going to charge either of them. This is my turn 5, I think. So yeah, I move around like so. See what I can do, baby. Over here, my skeletons decide to turn around and face this way.
Flee if they could.
So that if he goes into me in my rear, then every rank he takes puts him further and further away from that objective. So I will know whether this is his objective if he charges me, basically.
I agree. Yes.
And if it is his objective.
Are we around turn 5? I've not been looking at the count.
I think this is turn 5. Yeah, I think this is turn 5.
Right.
In his turn 5, he charges me, so we know that this is all a complete bluff, and I just wasted 2 of my best units over the side. Gets in as well, and moves to Salamander for later. And this is there we go. The end of Saurian turn 5 movement. He moves his pterodons this way. Now, he was
so they're not the ones chaffing your Barrow Knight now.
So they're not chaffing. He moves his skinks to kind of chaff both as well, which is an interesting one, because now I'm thinking, well, where was his objective then? If we know it's not that one, or if he's happy, because there's no scoring, he's not winning the objective.
He hasn't got any scoring on the board apart from the one that's abandoned the objective.
Apart from the one that's abandoned the objective. So over here, it clearly means that this is one of these is his objective. If it's the middle one, I can't do anything about. But if it's one of these two, then
yes, because your scoring can win on his objective as well as yours, can't it? So he's also in theory defending the one he has chosen.
Interesting to me that he did this, and he made a big point of doing this and saying, "There's no way your scoring can get down this way, is there?" No, I don't think.
But I think you chose the blue one that's there. So I could be wrong. So if you have chosen the green one as well,
I chose, yeah. So there's one in the middle, just under that Titanopod, and then there's one.
I don't think you've chosen that one.
So he moves up.
I think you've chosen the Taurosaur one. Okay.
He moves up so that I can't get to the green one on the left, which is fair enough. And also I've got 2 scoring units that I could go to either of them on the other one. And he puts his Titanopod over the one, and the Taurosaur next to the other, which is pretty good play. He's obviously got sticks as well there, like that. So this is the end of his turn. He might have a bit of magic and stuff. In fact, he doesn't have any magic, just a bit of shooting. So I will tell you, you are completely 100% right. I did want that one, but my plan actually was to have the skeletons there and doing. But my Barrow Knights got so bunked up,
sucked into the trigger guard on the left flank,
and distracted that I just couldn't help the skeletons, and it didn't matter. So now I've got to think on my last turn how on earth I'm getting that objective,
or the green one that Drew has tried to defend.
Which we've both agreed that I can't get to. I can't charge him out the way and get to. I can't get past with my scoring unit. So that's out of the thing. I've just got to get onto mine.
I'm guessing it's an impassable house, right?
It is.
Yeah, so if your Vampire Knights were to charge the flank of the Skinks, they can't go through the house with an overrun.
Yeah. So,
because obviously if it was a ruins or something, you could have charged the flank of the Skinks, overrun with the Vampire Knights into the objective. But it's impassable. It's impassable. Yeah.
This just shows this, and we all know how it's going to go. We've got 2 rounds of combat. That's
enough.
Too much about this. So this is shown to be the 2 objectives. This was the green one over in what I considered my strong corner was where he chose, which I thought was very interesting. And I obviously chose the one that was I didn't think it was too unobvious as a thing. I put the skeletons over.
Well, if I got it right, then it must have been relatively obvious.
I didn't think it was a big bluff because I had my Death Star and the big block of things. But I don't know.
And your Vampire Knights that side,
Yeah, so interesting. Although if I'd have stayed where I am with my Vampire Knights, I would have got the objective. How interesting is that?
Yeah, because I haven't actually got any points other than clean the Skinks, have they? So
correct. But they are alive, and that I always think that's like a double swing. If like a big unit survives and gets 1 or 2 little small units.
Yeah, because they're like 500 points, aren't they? So
with counter charges as a thing, I charge just with my Strength 7 dude.
Oh, okay.
He'll be able to
Just
take them out, no problem. That also frees up my unit for reforming shenanigans.
Conga line.
I know, reform
Nice.
shenanigans this way. I'm actually a decent amount away from the Taurosaur and Titanopod on the right hand side.
And you're out of line of sight of the pink one.
Completely out. Yes, so I think I am. I can't remember whether I had to, because it's of where the thing is. I can't remember where I had to be, but I think I could get just to a point where I'm within 6 inches of my front, and I made sure that was my front because that would be the last one to die. Looking good for the objective, and I'll pick up a few little points there and see how we go. Really,
I think you've done well to give yourself that chance.
Yeah, just in case something crazy happens, I regrow here, and he lets it off, and I'm like, okay, well that's just the objective. Happy days.
Yeah.
Over here, I'm not sure. I don't think they had a champion, and I definitely didn't do 0 wounds. I think I do like 5 wounds, and he flees, and he goes here. I think I choose not to go after him because it's just not worth having a Taurosaur.
No.
I know this guy's taken on a Scourge. I know that, but getting charged by a Taurosaur is something different. Over here, this just don't worry about that. And the last turn, he does rally. Again, he's just not taking off some skinks. But it doesn't matter really because I didn't kill them, and they're not allowed to.
No, I mean they're not scoring. They're skink hunters, aren't they?
So. But I don't even get for points, so it doesn't matter. And he just moves up basically so everything can try and shoot the lone guy.
Sure.
Doesn't manage to do it though, and we end up as an objective victory. Basically, the same points,
close one. Points wise,
and it came back to
really
objective.
Cool.
So really happy with that. It was really.
That was
fun
a great game. Really
tactical game.
Really
as
close.
Well. And I feel like the objective really helped to make it a fun tactical game as well. So that was cool. Still lots on the board. Essentially, Varklak and Donny are just so many points that if they die, that I really have to work out.
Yeah, the whole board gets opened up, doesn't it?
It was basically that and all my chaff, all my core, and because I only have this left on the board at this point, and he's got a decent amount, so I just get the Anarachs basically and some chaff here and there, taking miskets, whatever. Decent game. Puts me on a win. I'm slightly above average now. I was obviously on 30.
43.
This takes me to 43. I only need a 7 for my 50 points. I'm very happy. It was a good fun game. Nice to play Drew. I'm not sure I've played Drew before.
No, I have a couple of times, but good opponent to play.
Yeah, so there we have it. A solid win, a good game, as we said with Drew. That takes us into your day 2. Really.
My run for day 2,
which is very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This is just confirming I got the objective there. Thanks very much for watching. Do check us out on Twitter, Facebook, the forum, Patreon as well.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the Patreon, it'd be a good time to mention that we put out a little bit of a poll, if you can call it that. I never know how to poll to our Patreons, asking them what they wanted from us, other than our awesomeness, obviously. Just to see if they wanted some extra interaction with us. So if you want a piece of that, then come along and join our Patreon. We are trying to do a few extra bits. Currently in
the thing of organising some games of different model systems, which is cool.
Exactly. 9th Age, Old World, anything really. Play anything, won't we? Once or more. So if you want to get involved in that, then join the Patreon while the poll is open, and we will do some stuff together. Because we love your comments, but obviously we want to interact as much as possible because you guys keep this channel going. So
absolutely. But that's enough waffle from us. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, see you later.